Gary Payton and the Seattle Supersonics.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf.
John and Sue with
the Favreau.
This is Nate Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam. You're watching NorbCam.
What's up? What's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you Monday following the final game of the 2019 NFL season, and really the last game of the 2010 decade. It's just hard to believe. What's up, you guys? Thanks for joining me here on this Ask Norb live session. I see a lot of you guys already in there on the chat, which is awesome. Again, I'm going to be getting a lot of reactions from all of you guys. Feel free to just chat up the comments over here in the live chat, and I'll be taking a few of your calls too if you want to join in live to ask me a question or just share some thoughts about this game. But I was very emotional. If you guys watched my live stream of the game yesterday, and obviously in the heat of the moment, you're watching this epic game play out in front of you, and it comes down to this final 2-minute drive to try to take the win, and you couldn't have written a better movie script to the finale of this game. I mean, it was a fantastic game. A crappy first half for the Seahawks, but a really good second half of football. And I got to start by at least first saying congratulations to the 49ers. You guys got the number one seed. You did what you have to do to basically be the best team in the NFC as far as playoff seeding is concerned. And, you guys did what you had to do. So, there's not much I can really say in terms of what you guys accomplished. On paper, even before this game, I've already said, the 49ers were a better team. If you look at just the numbers, the point differential, all these things, the 49ers earned that spot. So I got to give props to the 49ers for doing what they had to do to make all the plays needed to secure that number one seed. So I want to just get that out of the way to show you that I'm not a complete, delusional homer who doesn't see both sides of the equation. So there you go. Well done. You guys earned it. Trying to look at the positive here, continuing on the positives. The experience of that night was awesome. I thought the crowd was amazing. I had been kind of complaining that the 12s, the Seahawks fans, haven't been bringing it as much as I think they should, and I thought they did bring it last night. And there were a lot of 49ers fans in the house too. I mean, it was definitely a lot of red out there, and we had a few annoying ones in my section as well. I don't know if you saw the live stream. I showed you a few where there was a particular row right in front of us. One guy was really just making a you-know-what out of himself, and he almost got into it with a Seahawks fan in front of him. They were going face-to-face. I thought they were going to start trading blows, but ironically, he was gone after that, so I don't know. Maybe somebody reported him. But anyway, it was a very exciting game, very passionate, and it just came down to what looked like it was going to be a storybook finish, an epic finish for the ages that we were all hoping it would be. And but before I get to the last crazy 2 minutes, just to add to the positives, great game. The beast mode aspect of it, obviously a lot of anticipation. What was beast mode going to do? What was his, how effective was he going to be? I thought he was pretty much what I hoped he would be. I thought he would get 10 to 15 carries. He got exactly, I think it was 12 carries for something like 34 yards. That's about what I expected. I thought, if he got over 15, I mean, we'd be doing something really good. Really, we'd be winning that game if he was getting more than 15 carries. So the fact that he got 13 was good. That epic touchdown where we did get the satisfaction of watching Beast Mode jump over the top at the 1 yard line. That was awesome. At a time when you thought you'd never see Beast Mode in a Seahawks uniform again, a couple years ago, to see him back there doing it again, it was sort of just. It was hard to believe it was actually happening, to see him in the uniform again. It was, wild. And when he did that, the crowd just went crazy. It was super electric in the building at that point, and the momentum was swinging clearly our way at that point when we were completely looking like we were dead in the beginning. But that was awesome to see, and he had a couple nice big runs earlier in the game as well. So I thought, Beast Mode he wasn't brought in just for namesake. He definitely contributed some great plays throughout the game, and I'm looking forward to more plays from him since the season is not over. No sir, no siree. Other positives: Travis Homer, who we hadn't really seen do anything all year because he's been behind Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, got to really show what he can do, and I've been so far pretty impressed with what Travis Homer is doing. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him and Beast Mode and maybe a little bit of Robert Turbin in the next game. So I'm excited with this sort of thrown together last minute new version of a backfield that we haven't seen all year. So fresh legs. It'll be fun to see what we can do next week against Philadelphia. But to add to the fun of that night, the anticipation to the game, the lead up, and then particularly for me, I got to be with my dad on the Toyota fan deck where they raised the 12 flag. That was amazing, getting to see the view from up there, watching and hearing Beast Mode's name called at the beginning of the game, and running out with all the running backs together. That was really cool. It was actually hard to see. I couldn't really see it from where we were because the fan deck, we had to stand near the back, and the fan deck was blocked, blocking the view of the field, so I couldn't see them running out, but I could see it on the screen. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that first time in me and my dad's lives, to be up on the fan deck, and then to see Brian Bosworth in person raise the flag was pretty cool too. So a lot of great things that I loved about that game. And then, of course, my buddy Patrick and I getting to be able to sit together and go through this game as we have done so many years and experience all these things together as we were watching this game unfold was pretty awesome. So a lot of things I'm grateful for with that game, looking at the bright side. Let's see. Got a note here from, what was it? From Ancient Hawk 48, 499 Super Chat. What was your favorite moment during the regular season? Oh, wow. I'd have to say that the first 49er win was probably the best moment of the year, going into the overtime and kicking the field goal to win it. That was the best moment of the season, just because it was against the best team at that time, given the 49ers their first loss in San Francisco. So that was definitely the best moment of the year at that point. So I feel like there's more to come, though. There's more to come. Okay, so that is the positives of that game. Now let's go to the negative side. Where to begin? The comeback was awesome. When you think about it, 5 minutes left in the game, down 12 points. The odds were definitely against us the way the game had been going, to have to score 2 touchdowns in order to take the lead. But we came down, and Russell got that touchdown to DK Metcalf, and then we came back again, and then it led to all those exciting moments going down the stretch as the time was winding down. And at the moment when Russell Wilson threw that pass to John Ursua, another bright spot, John Ursua getting his first play time with the Seahawks this year, where he's been sitting behind a stacked, loaded roster of receivers, finally gets his opportunity because of a banged-up receiving core. And what does he do? He catches a first down pass, almost gets a touchdown to win the game, but instead starts what looked like was going to be this climactic build-up to an epic Hollywood script-type ending that we all could never have dreamed of in our wildest dreams. And that's what started what was a crazy sequence of events. So John Ursua gets his first action, one catch for 11 yards on 4th and 10, puts the ball at the 1 yard line. They rush over there. George Fant's on the ground in pain. They're all rushing into the line with 20-something seconds left. We're all going, clock it. And Russell Wilson gets the ball. George Fant jumps to his feet, jogs over to the line, gets set, and he clocks it with whatever number of seconds left, 20-something seconds. And at that point, we're all going second and goal at the 1. We all know what's happening. The crowd is going nuts. I'm talking to Pat. We're going to watch Beast Mode carry the ball and win this game. And that's where the first of crazy blunders happened, and we get that delay of game. And as much as I was angry afterwards that we got it and wanted to blame Pete Carroll and the coaching staff, I mean, I still ultimately blame them because they are the coaches. They're the ones who are supposed to be the ringleader of the crazy circus. I think everybody in the building and every player and every coach all just got caught up in the moment of when you rush up to the line and the time's ticking, tick, 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 and you spike the ball. There's this feeling of, oh, okay, we're good now. And it feels almost like a timeout, and it doesn't feel like a normal play where you're right away thinking clock's running. And so instead, everyone's yelling, "Beast!" Marshawn Lynch runs out to the field and looks back and not sure if he's supposed to go in or not. And they're getting into the huddle. And in the meantime, we're all getting ready for this, what's about to happen. And nobody is looking at the play clock. I'm not looking at it. Pat's not looking at it. The coach isn't looking at it. Russell Wilson and company, Tyler Lockett, admittedly wasn't looking at it when he normally is. And who's looking at it? The only one looking at it is the referees. And they call a 5-yard delay of game penalty. And we were all just shocked, like, what happened? And we were all just caught off guard by it. And again, if anybody should know what's going on, you'd think it's the coach, but I think it's just everybody got caught up in the moment that we were all just going to set up for this play that we were all just thinking about needing to happen and magically wanted to have the storybook ending. And we just got all distracted by it. And unfortunately, that really was, well, step one to our undoing. And that lays on the hands of the coaches, the team, anybody. I mean, even Russell Wilson wasn't looking at it and going, we got to huddle up here and get going. So that, of course, started the first series of things that got in the way of what should have been our amazing ending. But then, of course, we got a couple of passes, and then it was, what was it, third? Yeah, it was third. Yeah, it was third down, right? Wasn't it third down on that play? And with 12 seconds left, well, the pass interference call that wasn't called, and I gotta say this: I'm not one to blame. I don't like to put blame on refs, okay, for costing a game. I'm not gonna say the refs lost us the game because, like I said, we don't do that delay of game. It should never come to that. However, there are times when a team does everything they can to overcome their own mistakes. And we had that play set. It was actually third and goal from the 6-yard line. And well, let's just take a look at it right here. All right. So here we go. It's third and goal. We've got Lockett, David Moore right here. And we've got Ursula and I think DK Metcalf and then Hollister. This is the one we're looking at here. Russell's in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Hollister goes out here. Bam! He's the intended receiver. And Fred Warner is all over him. Now I read the response by the officials, by Al Riveron, the head of referee, about why they didn't call pass interference. But I don't buy it. The pass interference is when a defender prevents a receiver from his ability to catch the ball. And look, he comes in, and right there's a grab. He's got his left arm is hooked around his back, and his right arm on his right shoulder, pinned back. I mean, he's got no ability to move and make a catch. By definition, that's pass interference. And I think what my feeling in bringing this up is they didn't even stop to really do an official review on it. They just kept going. And I don't understand why they did not review this call, because it should have. It was in a critical situation, and obviously we knew what's at stake here, because if that pass interference is called, Seattle gets the ball back at the 1 yard line, 1st and goal at the 1, and we can do everything back over again. Problem overcome. But this right here wasn't reviewed at the time and wasn't called. And I think what's frustrating about this is that if you go back to last year in the NFC Championship game, Saints versus the Rams, we all know about that blatant call where the Rams secondary hit the Rams or the Saints receiver well before he just blows them up, well before the ball got there. Blatant pass interference that wasn't called, and because of that, that's why they came up with this pass interference review rule, because of what happened on that no-call pass interference. So here we are, a year later, and this happens, and it's no better. That rule that was put in place really all season long has not helped the situation in terms of reviewing and overturning or correctly calling pass interference calls on the field. They're going to have to get this straightened out, because this season's not over yet. The playoffs are just beginning, and the last thing we want to see is another game blown because of a bad call or a lack of a proper call. But to me, this is unacceptable to have a call like this go and not, but when every definition of what it was pass interference and it doesn't get called. So again, I'm not saying that this cost us the game, but it contributed to it, because we cost it ourselves, but in our attempt to overcome it, this happened. So anyway, that is just my take on it. I'm done. We're moving on. There's nothing we can do about it now. And so hopefully, though, the NFL will correct this moving forward, if not for the playoffs in the offseason before next year. But I think before I get to some of the calls here, the thing I think that really frustrates me, or I should say, what makes this game the positive is that this game wasn't a win or go home game. Obviously, the Seahawks are still alive. We're still in the playoffs, and we really didn't lose that much, in the sense that to win it, we would have gotten the 3rd seed and a playoff game at home, which would have been great. But instead, we dropped from the 3 to the 5. Not that extreme if you look at, it's not even a bye. So we're still playing a game next week. It just would have been away instead of home, which we've been better away this season than at home. We're a 500 club at home. Not a great home field advantage this year. But what is disappointing for me isn't the loss. It would have been nice to get the division, to win the NFC West division crown. That obviously too would have been nice. But what really gets me is we were denied that what would have been historic moment, an epic, memorable, signature historic moment in Seahawks history, where we could have witnessed something that we never thought would happen, and to watch beast mode be the one to carry the ball into the end zone for a game-winning touchdown to get us the NFC West crown. I mean, that alone, and to have been on the heels of what was a epic comeback. It's very comparable to the NFC Championship against the Packers. Not as much at stake, but when you think about the NFC Championship game against the Packers, we played like garbage in that game too in the first half, and found a way to come back in miraculous fashion at the end of that game. This game was sort of the same way, coming back in against all odds to have a chance to win this game, and we were, again, really, for the Hollister catch, they're this close. But I think that's the part that gets me, is that we were denied that opportunity, and whether it was self-inflicted or because of the no call, that's what bumps me out, less than the loss itself. Would have loved to have just had that moment, because it would have been spectacular. It would have been one of those things that when you talk about the top 10 greatest moments in Seahawks history, that one would have fell in there somewhere. And now it's just going to be a footnote. Oh, yeah, we lost that last game of 2019 and could have been great, but we didn't. So that's that's the most bummer part of it. Jackson Domolke, thanks for the super chat. Thoughts on Ken Norton? I think he should be fired. Well, I mean, I've got to admit, I have not been in love with the schemes that we've had on defense. So far, it's been like watching the same horror movie over and over again. And we're running out of we run our base defense. And while I love our linebackers, it seems like they're always a step behind. Somebody's out of position. There's always someone wide open in the middle or running a crossing route unimpeded. So I don't know if this is a Ken Norton issue or is it the defensive backs coach issue, but right now, systematically, it's not working. At least it's not working with our personnel. So I don't know if this is a firing thing or if it's we've got to implement a new scheme, but it's got to be improved. I mean, we got to fix it sooner than later. Otherwise, this playoff run is not going to last very long. So, and we'll see. Okay, let's get to a few calls here and see what's what. All right, let's try it here. Let's go to the 204. Let's try this. Make sure this is working. Hey, what's up? This is NorbCam. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is David, and I'm calling from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. How are you doing, NorbCam?
I'm doing okay, all things considered. Like I said, it's nice that we're still in the playoffs, but I'm bummed. Like I said, I'm bummed about what happened. That we were denied this moment in history. But, yeah. How about you? I assume you're a Seahawks fan.
Of course, I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm from, technically I'm born in Federal Way. I think you know where that is.
Oh, yeah. Just not a minute from my house. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to talk about, I wanted to ask you probably two questions. I'm going to try to do two questions, really two quick questions here. Okay, so the positive note, our offense was amazing this year. I would say top 7 this year, right? Am I getting close to that? Is that correct?
I'm not sure as a team. Russell Wilson obviously has been one of the top performers, but we've been, for the most part, pretty solid. We've had some off games for sure, but for the most part, it's been pretty good.
Who do you think had the best season this year as a player, like on the offense?
Are you talking about for the Seahawks?
Yeah, for the Seahawks, yes.
Okay. Russell Wilson. He's been great. Obviously, MVP candidate, second only to Lamar Jackson. But as much as people like to knock on him, I thought Chris Carson. I thought he had a great season. And I know he had some fumble issues, but to me, without Chris Carson, he was just as important as Russell Wilson was to this game, because we've seen what happened when we don't have a running game going. This team is not built to have to come from behind in a one-dimensional throwing situation. We need to have that balance of run-pass for us to be effective. And so Chris Carson was kind of the engine that made everything go, because when he got going, everything else just kind of worked. But when we couldn't get our running game going, or if we fell too far behind, it got pretty ugly. We saw that in the Rams game. We saw that against the Cardinals as well. So I think Chris Carson, that's why when he went down, I was like, oh, man, I just think our playoffs hopes just suddenly got real dim. And then the Marshawn Lynch thing happened, and then, and that kind of just gave us all new hope. So I'd say Chris Carson. Chris Carson has been extremely valuable, almost as valuable as Russell Wilson, in my opinion.
I totally agree with you, because honestly, you know what, with how Chris Carson was playing this season, and of course last season as well, because he had over 1,000 yards last season as well. He's showing a glimpse of Marshawn Lynch, how he's the body type built, and how he can break tackles, and going 10 to 15, probably 10 yards, almost 5 yards per carry. Breaking tackles. It's crazy. I was really huge of Chris Carson when he was drafted, and a lot of people just did not like his gameplay. And then all of a sudden, Pete Carroll just saw him how he was, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this guy is going to be like the next big thing, next to Marshawn Lynch type of a football player." And to me, I will say Russell Wilson had a really great year. I think he had a great season. I wouldn't say I think he had a better season last season, though, because honestly, 35 touchdowns and 7 interceptions was pretty damn good. But, 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, that's not too bad. Or, was it 30? I think it's 32. But anyway, I know you were talking about, Ken Norton getting wanted, or some people said, Ken Norton should be fired. Honestly, you know what? Let's just say if you wanted a coach back for Seattle, who would it be? Because to me, I would want Dan Quinn back.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I was thinking the same thing. He's not getting fired, so that fantasy of him getting fired and him coming back to Seattle went away pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, Dan Quinn was, I thought he was a great defensive coordinator when he was with us. And if he had been fired and he was floating around out there, I would have thought, maybe we should give him a call. But that's obviously not happening. He's still got his gig down there in Atlanta. But yeah, I'm not sure what the next remedy is here for this thing. But right now, it's just, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with what they've done on defense so far. It just, I haven't seen the adjustments. Usually Seattle's been pretty good at adjusting and correcting things, and this time it feels like sometimes something's going wrong in the first half, and then it continues in the second half. So, the
only thing I can say is that their turnover ratio for our defense was pretty damn good. We were probably in the top 5 this season. We had over, I believe, 27 if I was looking at the calculations. But anyway, I'm going to tell you this right now. I think Seattle has they're pretty good on the road. So you know what? I really do hope that they can go further down in the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think Seattle has a good chance, and they might be a better team next year. You never know.
I think so too, David. Thanks for the call, and and I agree. I think our chances over in Philadelphia do look pretty good. I feel like we have beaten them once. I know it's tough to beat a team twice, but Philadelphia's pretty banged up. We have beaten them before, and I think we match up well against them. And it's at this point in the year, it's almost like this battle of attrition. It's the team that's got enough bodies out there, and that's why that first round bye was so valuable, because you had a chance to rest your guys up and be a little bit fresher when you play your first playoff game. But we're gonna have to be the walking wounded, and throw our bodies out there, whoever's healthy enough to play, and hopefully those guys can keep bringing it. We got to bring it 3 times in a row. But again, thanks, David, for the call. Appreciate it, man. We're going to keep this going. Actually, I wanted to recognize a couple of people. At Alec Vega with the super chat. It says, hey, man, sorry about your tough loss and wish they changed the PI rule, but who knows? Sad. But anyways, wish Seattle best of luck. Bucks fan here. Thanks, Alec. And congratulations on your quarterback being the first one to have 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. That's a crazy stat, but we interested to see what happens there down the line with Jameson Winston. Let's see, I saw there's another super chat. Blaze206, thank you for the super chat. I would love to see a rematch with the Ravens and Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And yes, CC has been putting in work this whole season. Chris Carson. Love the convo. Yeah, thanks, Blaze206, and appreciate the super chat. I would love to see Seahawks and Ravens. Obviously, we got a long way to go before we can talk about that. But, hey, one game at a time, right? All right, let's keep this going. Let's go to the 253. What's up? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, NorbCam, it's Zick.
Oh, you're breaking up there. Who's this? What's your name?
This is Xavier.
Xavier. Oh, Xavier. We've chatted before, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
I thought so. Okay, I gotcha. What's up, man?
Not much. Just that game. Just terrible.
Yeah, it's emotionally, I've always kind of asked this question: is it worse to get blown out to where you're like, oh well, we just never had a chance, or to be so close by inches and to lose it? Emotionally, it's harder on you, but of course, you'd like to see your team show that they can hang with one of the best teams in the NFC. And for that reason, I'm happy moving forward that even though we lost, I thought, okay, this bodes well for us in the playoffs. If we can hang with the Niners, we can hang with anybody. It's just frustrating when you're literally this close.
Yeah, they're so close. And last time when the Niners lost, I had like a lot of Niners fans making all the excuses saying, "Oh, Kittle's gone. Emmanuel Sanders didn't play. They were such an impact. We could have won that game, and our rookie kicker missed the kick." And it's just like imagine what we had to go through this year. Just a slip of injuries. Will Disley's out.
I think
Penny and
exactly. Our center,
and like
our
this
tight
game
end.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, in this game here, I was just like, you want to make all these excuses. This game right here just pretty much proves that we could beat San Francisco, like with Russell Wilson. We don't really need any star players. Like, you can have all your star players. We'll still take you down. And we were that close. We were that close to beating them without Chris Carson
Yep.
And it was a game we shouldn't have deserved to win either.
Yeah,
well,
and that's what gives me some confidence moving forward is that even in my mind, I'm thinking, man, how are we going to win this game? How are we going to stop George Kittle and all that? And what I was enjoying there is I know that every 49er fan was sweating bullets in the last 2 minutes. And they're going, oh, God, we're going to lose this game. Because it was, we should have won that game. And I know in my heart, we won that game. I mean, it was a victory we had. Yes, we lost it. But in my mind, we won that game. We had that game in our hands. It wasn't like we didn't deserve it. We deserved to win that game, but for reasons, that just fell apart at the end, we didn't get it. But we had that game. We won that game. And I know the 49ers fans knew we were going to win that game too. And that's why at the end, I love the ones who are trash talking, oh, we kicked your butts and this and that. They're like, I know like 5 minutes earlier, you're like sweating going, oh, God, we're going to lose. And all of a sudden, we kicked your butt. Yeah, told you we were going to take you guys down. But they're all sweating right before that moment. So, I can't wait. If we beat Philly, we might face them a third time this year. And that's going to be, that'll be great. I'm looking forward to a rematch.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that too. This just kind of reminds me of Super Bowl 49 again. You're at the 1 yard line. You can't mess this up. You got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, and
the curse of the 1 yard line.
Like the pass interference on 3rd and goal. That was pass interference. But let's be honest, none of that would have happened had you just ran a play. Just give us the beast mode, win the game. This is the second time now, and it's just
it is crazy.
The Super Bowl now just.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is I'm going to spend the rest of my Seahawk fandom life always replaying that game, both those games, and thinking what could have been had we gotten in there. These would have been amazing celebrations and changes in the timeline, the Back to the Future timeline of the Seahawks would have been a totally different future had we just done this one thing or didn't screw up this one thing, So yeah, that's just gonna have to hang with us. But at least this season we still get to play in the playoffs, so that's what makes it not so bad of a sting.
Yeah, and It just really sucks, man. Like, we had really no offensive talent on that side of the ball. We lost our star linemen, star safety, and star running backs, and we were still able to hang in the last few seconds. Like, imagine just we win that game. That was a must-deserved. Like, we didn't even deserve to win that game. Like, the half was so bad.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of miscues in that first half. The 4th and inches. Like, Marshawn Lynch got stopped on 4th and inches. San Francisco territory. That probably
and I gotta bring up this point. My buddy Pat mentioned that had we kicked the field goal, which was a very makeable field goal, 46-yard field goal. If we make that field goal,
we wouldn't have had to worry about the touchdown.
We would be going for a game-winning field goal. It would have been a game-winning field goal at the end.
Give it to Myers and boom, we would have won.
So my buddy Pat was right. He was like, kick the field goal, and we were all going, no, go for it, let's go for it, and. But we've been burned in the past too with kicking the field goal. So.
Yeah. If you got beast mode in the backfield, I'm pretty sure you're gonna go for it. But I mean, other than that, I think we'll be fine. We play a lot better on the road than we do at home. Is very ironic, but we can get past the Eagles, and I don't think the Niners is a bit. I don't think the Niners is a bit of a long shot. I mean, everyone's seen how. Everyone's seen the games that we played against them. Both games very winnable. We won the first game. We should have won the second game. So honestly, I just think that if we can get Diggs back, if we can get Dwayne Brown back to help with the offensive line, then I think.
And there's a good chance that Diggs might be back.
Shot.
Diggs makes a huge difference. I'm praying that he can come back. Actually, even if I thought George Fant did a pretty respectable job at left tackle, filling in for Dwayne Brown. So I'm okay with him hanging in there. I'd rather him be that sixth lineman and put Dwayne Brown back in. But if he can't go, Dwayne
or the tight end, that secret weapon.
Yeah, Quandre Diggs though, he's the key because he made such a difference. The day he showed up, he transformed that secondary, and we need him back there. So I hope he can make it back in time to contribute to the playoffs. But
yeah. One more comment, by the way. About the Kid Norton thing, you say people want to fire. I don't think that firing him is absolutely necessary, and mainly because he actually is a pretty good defensive coordinator. People can judge him all he wants, but the only thing that really lacked this year was the pass rush. I think only a reason why our defense was getting torched is because the defensive line will give the quarterback like 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket, and boom, it's a touchdown.
Right. The pass rush for sure needs to improve.
Wait.
Yeah, the pass ruch definitely has got to get better.
I can't blame them, though. I can't blame them because they haven't been healthy. They haven't been healthy. Ziggy Ansah's just been injury prone all season. Clowney has a core injury, and Reed got suspended for the first 6 games. So I mean, I can't really blame them, but there's been moments where
it's disappointing. It's disappointing though. It's disappointing though that you got Ansah, you got Reed, and you got Clowney in there, all 3 of them. And I understand that Clowney's hurt, so he's playing not 100%. But you got all those 3, and we were just counting on all those 3 guys to bring it. And we had a couple sacks, 3 sacks I think, but none of them were from those 3 guys.
Yeah, we had a few sacks in the only down. I'm like, okay, this looks like from last game. Clowney's gonna do his thing. We're gonna get pressure. We're gonna be just fine. It's gonna be a low-scoring game. And then just next thing I know, the pass protection so good. Jimmy Garoppolo's got all day in the pocket. I'm just like, oh no, it's gonna come back.
If we can't get a pass rush, we're gonna not get very far. We've got to get that pass rush rolling better than what we've done. So pass rush helps out the secondary. So, well, we'll see what happens. But we got playoffs coming up, so we're not done. Unfinished business. We still got unfinished business.
7-1 on the road. We'll be good. We'll be good. We got Russell Wilson, and especially in playoff time, I think that's a quarterback you can trust.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a fun one, but we don't have to wait long. It's this Sunday. So Eagles on a hot streak. They've won 4 games straight. They're not the same team we played last time we played them. I think they're a much better team right now, but they're still banged up. So it kind of reminds me of that 2016. We're banged up, but it's a matter of overcoming your banged upness. So we've got to rise up, next man up, all that good stuff, and hopefully we get a couple guys back. But it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to it. We got to get one more win at least. All right, well, thanks for the call, man.
We got to pray the Saints win. No problem. Thanks for having me.
You betcha, man.
Always a pleasure to talk to you.
All right, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
All right.
Go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks.
All right, let's see who else. We got a lot of callers on tonight. Let's go with the 502. See who this is. What's up, 502? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this? Hello? Oh, okay. I guess they're gone. Let's try another one here. Let's go to DJ over in Cali. Been hanging on a long time. DJ, what's up?
What's up?
How you doing? What's on your mind today?
I'm kind of upset. I kind of thought it was the best case scenario last night because I would rather play the Eagles than the Vikings, even though it was on the road.
Why, are you worried were you thinking we'd have a hard time with the Vikings at home?
I don't know. I mean,
we beat them already.
I know. I mean, the Vikings and the Eagles are 2 teams that Russell Wilson's never lost to.
Right.
So it's I don't know, because I thought that the Vikings with Adam Thielen, they'd be tough, but Kirk Cousins in playoff games, ugh. Prime time Kirk Cousins sucks.
Right.
But, but
I would have taken either of them. I would have taken either of those two teams, but if we got the Eagles, that's what it's going to be.
The thing is that we don't have to play the Saints if we beat the Eagles. That's big.
Right. Yeah.
So,
this is true, and I don't like to peek too far ahead, but theoretically, if we beat the Eagles, then we would get that rematch with the San Francisco 49ers we were talking about. And the Seahawks, like you said, playing in the Superdome against New Orleans, we can't win there. I don't remember the last time we won a game over there, but we've beaten the 49ers in that place plenty of times. So, that's a place we're familiar with and have experience winning in.
I would definitely try
from
to
that
go
standpoint,
to that game, but...
Yeah, so from that standpoint, I'm not going to change this. They are some there are some pretty bad Niners fans out there. I will not argue with you. I experienced a few last night, and I see plenty on the chat.
Every day at school, they talk so much crap. All they do is talk crap. They're like, the Seahawks suck. Russell Wilson sucks. That's all they say. Like, they're all hype, but it's just the way Niner fans are, I think.
I guess every fan base has got theirs, but I've experienced a few. They're definitely coming out of the woodwork. There's more now than there has been in a while, but that's what happens when your team starts winning, So
I know, like the Niner fans weren't even popular until this year. I feel like all of them just jumped on that bandwagon. Like they weren't even paying attention, and now all of a sudden they have this big bandwagons.
Well, if you win, they will come. That's the case with any team. And if Seattle suddenly stopped winning, and it'd be interesting to see how the 12s would do. But 12s traditionally, our Seahawks fans have always been very supportive of their teams, even when we were terrible, and we were terrible for a long time. So, we had a pretty strong fan base, kind of like Cleveland. Cleveland's got one of those teams where they got great fan base, horrible teams, and yet they stick through with it thick or thin. So there are some fan bases.
I've never been there through the terrible days, but I've never thought about switching teams, even when they were falling apart a little bit. I never thought about switching because I'm not going to be a bandwagon like that. But I'm prepared for the terrible days.
I hope so. We've been pretty fortunate that ever since Pete Carroll came along, from basically 2010 to now, we've only had. We had our first losing season with him, and that was 7-9, but we still went to the playoffs. And then we had
missed the playoffs twice.
2011, we didn't make the playoffs, and then 2017, we should have made the playoffs if not for Blair Walsh. So really, we've been pretty lucky to have virtually playoff seasons and 2 Super Bowl appearances in a decade. It's been a good decade for the Seattle Seahawks. You got to admit that.
It's been a good decade, but the Eagles game, I think that we got. I think that it's the fact that it's on Sunday afternoon is a big advantage because we get more time off, more time to prepare. It's going to be a big game, but I think that the Seahawks are going to be able to pull it out late because I don't know, the Eagles, their offense, they might not even have Zach Ertz. They're really crippled.
Fletcher Cox is pretty banged up too, so we'll see what they bring. But I hope that we could be confident and look past certain things, but as long as the Seahawks don't, that's the key. I got to say a shout out to CJ in the super chat. Says, I know I'm a Niner fan, but I love your channel and all the parodies are hilarious. Good luck. May the best team win. Some of our fans are really bad. See, from a 49er fan, even admit some of their own fans are pretty bad. But we all have a few like that.
There's the good and the bad ones.
Yeah.
There's the good and the bad Niner fans. I've experienced them all living in the Bay Area.
Yep.
But I know more Raider fans, I think, but then they're all switching to the Niners because the Raiders are moving, so...
Well, I can see it. I can see it from a 49er perspective. I can see, when you think about it, I think we would all jump on taking advantage of trash talking and capitalizing on the moment because, look, Seattle's owned the Niners for how many years now? I mean, they hadn't lost. They only lost one or two times in CenturyLink in the last 10 plus years, and the win streak goes a long ways at Central League. So for them to win the first one and get the NFC crown, I mean, got to give them props. They got it done, and so of course they're going to jump on that and just thump their chests and scream on top of their pulpit.
I'm just like, wait for this rematch. I'm prepared for a rematch because I think we can beat the Eagles. So, and I think that the Saints are just on fire right now. It just feels weird that they're the third team and the Packers, who I don't think are even that good, are the second seed. Like,
the Saints
could beat the Lions.
Yeah, the Saints got screwed by a pass interference call last year, and the Saints got screwed last night because of our pass interference no call. The Saints always find a way to get screwed by somebody, even when they're not playing. So, Saints just can't catch a break apparently. But we're gonna just have to all earn it. We have to all earn it next week.
Earn it.
So, all right, DJ. Well, thanks for the.
Final.
Yeah, it was fun to watch the Patriots drop.
Thank you for having me. But
you bet, man. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
All right, take
Hawks.
it easy. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
All right. I see the chat has been busy. I got to say shout out to a few of my friends out there. Like we've got Solstice Beat by Jessica, Elena McCullum, Sports Live in the ATL, my buddy David from Atlanta. Got to say, just appreciate you guys joining the fun here. I'm doing a lot better today, I got to say. Last night I was pretty bummed out. I was pretty mad. I was, it's emotional. But I had a chance to calm down and reflect on things and count my blessings. And, like I said, we're still playing. There's 20 other teams who are not playing right now who are on the couch watching everybody else, and we get to keep playing. So, things could be a hell of a lot worse. So I wanted to show you guys something, though, that people aren't talking too much about. But I want to go back to my screen here. Oh, great. And it's glitching out. So never mind. Forget it. That's like, that didn't work. I was going to show you this play, but apparently my monitor thing is screwy. Yep. It looks like Max Headroom from the 80s. All right, forget that. We'll just go back to some more calls. Let's see. Let me see who's been on the line for a long time here. Let's go to the 814. What's up? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this? Hello? Anybody there? Apparently not. All right, let's try another one.
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay, who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Drew,
And where are you from?
South Carolina.
All right. What's on your mind, man?
Okay, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm not a big Hawks fan, but they're my second favorite team, I would say. I think that the NFC is wide open. That's the number one thing. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to say. Just, I think that the Seahawks have a good opportunity, and they're a very good, and they have a ton of opportunities on the road. Obviously, in the playoffs, being the 5 seed. I think they're an awesome team. Yeah, obviously they beat us, so. Yep.
Yes, early in the year. I'm just curious, how does that work? How does a guy from South Carolina be a fan of the Steelers and then a fan of the Seahawks at the same time?
I actually moved from Pennsylvania to down here, and I was a Steelers fan there.
Okay,
as
makes
a kid,
sense.
And then I ended up. I actually followed you back when back in the Super Bowl days of the Seahawks.
Oh. Okay.
And all the NorbCam.
Are you saying that me, NorbCam, converted you into a Seahawks fan?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Ooh, the power that I wield here on the internet. That's awesome. That would be interesting if, you obviously weren't a fan back in Super Bowl 40 when we played the Steelers, but I always find that interesting when I have some friends who have two teams, and like I have a buddy named Jeff. He likes the Seahawks and he's a fan of the Vikings, originally from Minnesota, and now he lives here. It's like, so how do you root for your teams when they're going against each other? Like, are you cheering both times? I'm only with one team, so I can't understand that concept. But I know some people have more than one favorite team, so more power to you. But I'm glad I helped show you the light, show you the way, son. So, We're happy
I mean, I
about that.
follow all the Steelers games, but like in the back of my mind, there's always scores of other teams, and Seahawks are definitely up there. So, yeah, I was pretty heartbroken after the ending of last night's game and all that stuff. I was like, oh, let's see how Norb was able to feel about this game, which I knew wasn't the best. So
it wasn't. It wasn't as bad as Super Bowl 49 for sure, but it had, like I said yesterday, it had tickles. It had bad tickle juju familiarity to my soul of what it reminded me of, that feeling of being denied the moment that you were hoping for. But anyway, again, we're still playing, so that's the big difference. There's more games to play as opposed to having to sit on it for 8 months or whatever. So, all right, Drew, well, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for following one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you about all the content.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Go Hawks.
Yep.
All right. That was cool. I can't say I've ever heard somebody say that I had a hand in converting them to a Seahawks fan. That's pretty awesome. Okay, let's go to the 310. I think this is in California. Hey, what's up? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this? Where you calling from?
We're calling from California.
You are calling from California. What's your name?
Carlos.
Carlos from California. All right, what's up?
I'm just saying that we should have. Travis Homer had a really good game.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand you.
Travis Homer had a really good game against the 49ers.
Travis Homer was great. Yeah, I've loved so far what he can do running the football. I agree. Travis Homer's looking good. Looking very good.
I think we could actually I think losing was actually pretty good, because I think if we won, we would have had a tougher schedule.
You think so? You mean if we had to play the Vikings, we would have hosted the Vikings at home, which would have been okay, but I guess the next game possibly would have been a tough match. Yeah. But yeah, I guess so. You know, we are on the road, and we did play better on the road. So from that aspect, maybe that suits us better. We're a better road team for the first time in a long time. So, you know, hopefully that bodes well for us moving forward. Are you a Seahawks fan?
Yeah.
Yeah? You sound pretty young. How old are you?
12.
12? Oh, 12. Good number. How long have you been a fan of the Seahawks?
Because, well, my brother, he was a really big fan, and he showed me football, and I got a really big fan of the Seahawks.
Ah, okay. That's cool. And how many years have you been following the Seahawks?
About 3.
About 3 years? Okay. That's cool. Awesome. I love it. I love it when, people from out of state, jump onto the Seahawks and join the blue and green, the 12s. So that's great, man. Well, I appreciate your call, and I hope you continue to watch my videos.
Yeah.
All right. Carlos, thanks again.
All right.
All right. Go Hawks. All right. Let's keep this rolling. Let me peek. Let me see if this thing will work. Nope. Still not working. Okay. I thought maybe it would fix itself. Let's go to... Oh, I wanted to... let me bring David in Atlanta. I think this is David. David, this you?
Yeah, what's up, my dude?
David in Atlanta, Sports Live in the ATL. We've been sharing some texts since last night. I appreciate your condolences, my friend, but crazy times in the NFL.
Yeah, well, the one thing that I like about your channel, man, is that throughout the years, being a Falcons and a Seahawks fan since our first ever collab, that we are still in communication after about, 4 years?
Yeah, that's about right.
And I appreciate it. Yeah, similar, 3 to 4 years. And, whenever you do your lives, especially come to playoff times, I always get enthralled by it and I watch it. I felt bad for you last night, my dude. I was falling asleep, getting ready to work early, but I wanted to separate some time to watch your live, and you see your excitement from the 2-minute mark down to the 1-minute mark and the ups and downs, and your friend was hilarious, by the way. I actually believed that you were going to get that call, man. I to see your face when the call was like stopped at the 0.5-yard line. Even I felt bad, man. I was like,
"Oh, you're
wow.
talking about the final play where Hollister was ruled short of the end zone."
Yeah. I didn't see the game because I was laying down, but I could just imagine. But the part that bothers me about the game is it's kind of like what Kyle Shanahan did in the Super Bowl and what the Falcons have done in the past is that penalties can kill you self-inflicted. You got a chance to get the first and goal at the 1-yard line and beast mode coming in, and then there's a what was it? They can't even get the play set. Is that how that works?
Delay of game? Yeah, delay of game.
Oh my God, man! And then it obviously showed that it played a part in the play calling in the last couple plays.
Oh, it changed everything. It changed everything. Instead of running it up, giving it to beast mode, he had to go out and we had to go back to our passing, offense. So with no timeouts and no way to stop the clock, there's no choice.
Yeah. I felt bad for you. Before I go, Solace Beast is giving me a shout in your life. So how you doing, Solace? I felt bad for you because it seemed like everything was working in the way that it needed to go and everything. And I didn't expect the Seahawks to go down the field with a minute and a half or whatever to go. But Russell Wilson, to me, sometimes I don't think gets the credit he deserves. And the game could have gone either way. But I really feel like the Seahawks are capable. I picked Seattle to win the game. I think Seattle's going to beat Philly. And what you said is so true. There are 20 teams in the league that aren't in the playoffs. Me being one of them. Mm-hmm. Now, if I can change it for a second, being Dan Quinn, former Seahawks coach and all, I like the way the Falcons season ended, and you've always been supportive of my channel through the Super Bowl blow. But I still can't believe we lost. I have no idea how that happened. And 2017 and everything in the games that we played, Falcons and Seahawks, I like the way the season ended. I'm not happy with the season overall. But I think Dan Quinn did just enough because, I bashed him a lot early in the year. I think with him humbling himself and giving up the reins to the coaches, I think Dan Quinn deserves one more year, but at least to start maybe the month next year. Do you really feel – you probably know Dan Quinn just a little bit more than myself, I guess from an internal standpoint. Do you feel that this coming year is going to be a make-it-or-break-it year for him? And do you think if he starts off slow next year, do you think Arthur Blank is, in your opinion, would be quick to pull the rein, or what? Because I like Dan Quinn, I really do. I just feel like he was brought here to win a Super Bowl, and we haven't kind of done yet. Yeah,
well, it's funny because there was a point where you were so done with him. I mean, you were ranting, going. You were ready. You wanted to run him out of town, and he did turn things around and got some marquee wins, particularly against the 49ers down the stretch. Yeah. And but I don't know what it is with your team, man, because you got one of those really talented rosters and you've got a good coaching staff, and yet for some reason, you guys just couldn't pull it together. I don't know, what has been the thing that is, you guys did have some injuries, but every team gets injuries, has injuries. But I would think that he's, saved his butt for another year, but I'm sure that the leash is short. The leash is understandably short.
What kind of saved Quinn that he humbled himself, and because sometimes even though you're a head coach, it doesn't mean you have to dibble dabble with your coach's staff. You got to let your coaches coach. I don't know how it is in Seattle. I know Pete Carroll has been pretty much control of that team, but I don't know if Pete Carroll controls your whole team. I'd like to think that he lets your coaches coach. That's why you pick these guys. You pick the coaches in there to do what they need to do, and once you stop that, the defense and the team just totally turned around. The team that went, it kind of really started against the second half against your team.
Right. After you lost to the Seahawks, I mean, you guys kind of put up a good fight coming back, but then it seemed like you guys kind of got right a little bit after that.
Yeah. I mean, it did go well, but what I want, from a loyal fan, and Falcon fans criticize me a lot. Not all of them, but I want to see my team win the Super Bowl. If my team has the talent and expectations to win a Super Bowl, that's all that matters. And I just want that feeling because I'm tired of getting called the ring check. But moving forward from that, your game against the Eagles coming up, I feel like, first of all, I know how the Eagles are at home, and it's a very intimidating place to play. I think the Seahawks and Russell Wilson can handle that pretty good. I I like the poise that Wilson has. I still like the Seahawks defense. I don't think the Eagles are as good. I think they've benefited pretty much from being in the NFC East, which has been kind of weak this year. And you guys have been battle tested. You guys have the 49ers in the NFC West, capable, definitely two dominant teams. The Rams at times showed dominance, at times throughout the year. So I think the battle tested for your team and your division is going to help you. And 49er fans, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. I'm going to stick up for them for this. They have been on YouTube following me since 2009, but there has been a sprinkle of additional 49er fans this year. Have you not noticed that? They have come out of the woodwork, my dude.
Yes, they have. Understandably so. When you start out 8-0, you're going to get fans coming out of the woodwork. It's a natural thing.
Yeah, but something tells me the 49ers are going to, and I believe it's nothing against the Niners. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to let them down. It showed against us. It showed against the game he lost against you guys, is that sometimes when it comes down to the clutch, he does not perform well. Let me ask you this one question before I go. How do you do your edits in your videos? Because those videos that you do with, hey, Chrysostomos, look like it takes weeks. You are really, really, really good at those editing videos, man. How do you do that, my dude?
Thank you, man. You're talking about my latest Seahawks 49ers video with the sequel to my
theaters, man, for an hour and a half.
Well, you're talking about this guy, this 49er fan coming out of the woodwork. What's funny? Some people still ask, who is that guy? Does he have his own channel? They don't realize.
You probably should do something like that, Nord, because
I probably should.
He has a following of his own. It's like if I put you and him together side by side, it looks like Norb, but it looks totally different. And I got to commend you on taking the time and effort to do those videos. The one with your daughter, with the kidnapping and all that. I don't know how you did it. It looks so real. Going on the football field, the phone calls, the driving, man, dude, you are talented.
Well, thank you, man. Well, I do this for a living, so I've had a lot of practice. But I got to tell you, man, this is all on borrowed time, right? Because, this is all my passion stuff. But that video, the one with the Top Gun spoof, I literally shot and edited that all in one day. I not. I did that the day before I released it.
When I asked you that, and I was like, what?
Yep, I did. I shot, and I didn't have any help. I literally shot that by myself. Usually I'd have a crew with me. I did that one by myself.
You did really good. You definitely did really good. And let me ask you this: when you transform to that Chrysostomo character, do you have to get yourself hyped up, the water on the face, kind of do a couple push-ups, or what?
No, I don't. I'll tell you what. Literally, you're saying about how you put me next to Chrysostomo and they're like two different people. I literally, you know how when people talk about they put on a mask and they feel like somebody different, they might put like a Jason or a Michael Myers mask and all of a sudden they kind of become that guy. Well, as soon as I go into the Chrysostomo mode, I become a different guy. My attitude, my personality is somebody totally different. It is really weird, but I don't have to get hyped for it. I just switch it on and it becomes that guy. But you're right. I might have to do another channel that's just Chrysostomo. And he'll probably be more popular than me.
Yeah, I got that. Seriously, why don't you put Chrysostomo on a t-shirt?
Yeah, I think you're right. I've been thinking about doing that forever, and I need to do it immediately. I'm probably missing out on some serious, some serious money making gear.
Yeah, what is the to be continued that you have? Because you left us hanging there.
Oh yeah, well it's like any good soap opera. You got to keep keep the audience strung along, before you give them the final ending, if there ever is one. But no, I've got a few ideas. I've got a few ideas here of how this is going to resolve itself, but it may never actually be over. I'm thinking about trying to turn this thing into a continuous website.
And we'll always keep in touch. But before I go, I just want to say, Seahawks fans, that was a tough loss. I respect Norb and the following that he's given my channel all these years. And because it's tough to put up with the kind of person that I am, but I appreciate it. And the Seahawks, I do believe you got a good team. I do believe you're capable of beating the Eagles. Put this past you. Go into Seattle. Go into Philly and make the right play calls. And for God's sakes, make sure you get the ball off before the time clock goes and run just mud when you're at the 1 yard line. For God's sakes, man.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, man, David. I
Yeah, good
I'm
luck,
serious
Seahawks. I'll
too.
talk to you soon, my dude.
All right, man. Thanks for the call and all the props, man. Always appreciate it, man. We'll talk
Happy
soon.
New Year to everybody in Seattle.
Happy New Year to you, man.
Get out of here.
Later.
Oh man, love that guy. All right, well, thanks for you guys. I had a little bit of a David in Atlanta love fest for a second there, but let's keep it rolling because gosh, you guys are busy tonight, man. You guys really want to talk Seahawks, 49ers stuff here. So I just want to have a 49ers fan on the line. Hold it. I do. Let's get Rohan, my the most glass half empty 49er fan I've ever met. He's probably a little more than half full today. Rohan, you on with me right now?
Yes.
Here he is, Mr. Rohan himself, who's finally starting to believe he's got a good team. You got the number 1 seed. You beat the Seahawks in Seattle for the first time in Lord knows how long. How do you feel today, man?
Feels good, man. First time I ever got to see it happen since 2008, because the last time it did happen, I was on a plane flying back to San Francisco during the game.
Yep, that was in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, with Tavares Jackson at quarterback. Yep. Well, it's been a long time coming.
That was the final score of that game, 2011.
It was how much? What was the score? I don't remember. It was
like 19-17 or something, right?
Yeah, it was. I remember at the time, I was at that game, and I remember thinking, God, we have Tavares Jackson at quarterback. There's no way he's leading us down in a comeback. And of course he didn't, and we lost the game. But it would have been one of those games if Russell Wilson was quarterback. I'd be like, hey, we can get this. It's funny how a quarterback makes all the difference in the world. But anyway, so you got to tell me, though, honestly, because you're probably one of the few 49ers fans who would actually be honest with me about, how you were feeling during the game. How were you feeling with about 90 seconds left in this game?
Well, you see, there's a school down the street that has a couple defibrillators in it. I was so ready to walk over there. I didn't think that we were going to win at that point, man. I mean, it was Russell Wilson. You can't really bet against that.
So you thought you were going to lose. Yeah. How sure of it that you were going to lose were you when we got the ball at the 1 yard line?
Fully sure.
99.9% sure.
More like 100, but yeah.
So you must have gone nuts when. I don't even at that last play when it was borderline. Was it in or not? Across the plane.
Yeah.
How sure were you?
When I saw the replay, I completely flipped. I was like, yeah, we won.
Oh, so you were pretty sure we didn't get in.
Yeah, me and my dad both.
All right, so I gotta ask you, pass interference. Come on, be honest with me. That was pass interference, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
But then again, as a Niners fan, I got to bring this point up. You can also argue that the game should have never gotten to that point.
Well, we already admitted that.
Seattle up until that point, one could argue as well. With was it the unnecessary roughness call and the first touchdown that Wilson threw when he was over the line, and the game clock ran out at that point too.
There's so many games where they snap the ball right at the moment when the game clock goes on, and they let so many of those go. They don't throw the flag if it's like zero snap. Come on, man, come on.
There were a good couple of seconds before the snap off, but yeah, it's true. Every time there's a controversial ref call, there's also a counter argument saying that it was still Seattle's fault in a way because of delay of game and going down 13-0 at halftime and all that.
Oh yeah, no, you guys were kicking our butts up and down the field the first half. I mean, we should have had at least a field goal or something there, but that's what made the comeback that much sweeter was the fact that you guys dominated us. And I don't know, you guys kind of let the gas off the pedal or something, but I was surprised that your defense could not stop us the last two drives of the game. Seattle just found their thing. And what I'm trying to figure out is why the hell can't Seattle do what they did in the last 2 minutes and actually start a game like that? It's like Seattle, it's almost like we choose to go, no, you guys go ahead. We'll just kind of sit back and watch see how it goes, and then we'll start playing in the second half just to start having
That's
some
so
fun.
Seattle, man. That is so Seattle.
It's been that
They've
way
doing
forever. It's been that way forever, even in
It's
Super
been
Bowl
doing that
48
ever
season.
Since, like, Carroll came to head coach. Like,
That's just the way they work.
yeah. Like, even the championship games that you guys were in. I remember the Niners game, you guys were down 10-0, and you guys were losing by, was it 17-10 heading in the fourth quarter before you guys actually woke up?
Yep.
Packers game, similar thing.
Yep.
You guys are down 16-0. And then you guys decide to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you guys are trying to give the opposing team's fan base hope. Like,
but what's
just
good?
Sweep the leg just sweep the leg to begin the game.
Yeah.
Not at the end.
Yeah, do the or go right away into the what do they call it, the what's that Karate Kid move at the end where he does the crane technique. Go with the crane technique right off the bat. Give him a good kick to the face. But I always go into every game going, hey, maybe this time we'll get off to an early start. We'll get a lead, and that's a lot of wishful thinking. Just not in our.
Yeah, that's why I'm just hoping for a win that doesn't make me want to go get that defibrillator. It's been, let's see, since the Packers game, honestly, since the last time we blew someone out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy how injuries can affect the team. I mean, when the Niners were healthy, they were blowing everyone out. I mean, it was like they were blowing everyone out by 30 points too, man.
Oh yeah, you guys.
And then Alexander gets injured, Tart gets injured, all of those guys on defense get injured. Then the defense starts playing badly, and then the games become close.
Well, it's the same thing, Seattle's had some major injuries, losing our tight end, losing our center, losing our running backs. Now we lost another linebacker. It goes on and on, but we're trying to find a way. But if not for that, we wouldn't have beast mode in here. So crazy twists and turns, how things adjust.
You wouldn't have realized that Seattle had lost all those running backs, judging by how they were talking earlier this week when they had got beast mode. It was like, beast mode is our Lord and Savior. He is God sent who is going to carry us to the Super Bowl, all that type of stuff.
No, you got to understand, man. It's not that we expected him to come in here and start having like 200 yards a game or something like that. It's just his presence alone, how he inspires the fans. He inspires his teammates in the locker room, on the field, on the sideline. Even the coaches, there's just an aura about him that brings the level of hope and excitement up. And and he was relatively productive. Yeah, he got stuffed on a few plays, but I don't think that's entirely his fault. But he made some great plays too.
Every play but 3.
Was that?
I'm counting correct. He got stuffed on every play but 3, if I'm counting correctly.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah, he had 12 carries for 34 yards, I think, and he got most of those on 3 carries. Everything else was like one yard. But he did get a nice goal line touchdown at the 1 yard line. I loved seeing that. So, but yeah. So, well, congratulations to you, man. You got what you wanted. You got what you set out for.
In Philadelphia, are you going to do that? Are you going to do that live stream from the casino thing, or are you actually going to go to Philadelphia?
No.
Eagles fan.
I'm not going to Philly. I will be doing it from our party again at Emerald Downs. So, but I will be streaming it. So it'll be fun to share it with the regular group of fans that joins me over there. So more are welcome if you guys want to join me. Just hop on down to Auburn, Washington, and come in. You might win some prizes. It's pretty cool. So, well, we'll see. We could have a part 3 rematch in a couple weeks if all things go well.
I expect it to happen.
I would love another opportunity. I mean, it's just fitting. The rivalry is alive, and I love it. See, I've always said football, the NFL is better when the Seahawks and the 49ers are both good and battling each other. I mean, last night was great. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
We blew it.
So was week 10.
But it was great.
So was week 10. It was great then as well.
And that was a great game too. Yeah.
Well, at that point, I didn't really feel like the rivalry was back. Only last night did I actually feel like there was a rivalry.
Oh, now you can say it. Yeah, we've traded blows, and now it's we've reached that level where it's like, okay, it's back.
Yeah, at least we get the week off. Niners are getting healthier. They get 2 starters back on defense, and D Ford and Gwaski Tart. And then maybe there's a chance that the general of the defense might be coming back for the conference championship.
So I hear. That's going to be pretty tough. But again, congratulations, man. You guys got it done.
Congratulations accepted.
It's nice to hear you actually enjoying being positive for a change. Hate to say that.
Weird. It's weird.
true.
I haven't enjoyed being positive as a Niners fan in a few years. I mean, I've enjoyed the positivity of being a Warriors fan and all this. Yeah.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts, because as we know, nothing ever does. So I'll leave you with that. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the bye week.
All
right, man. Take it easy.
Enjoy a well-part weekend in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Hopefully we can stay alive.
It gets cold there in the winter. I heard it gets cold there this time of the year. Maybe a snowball.
I don't know. Right now, the weather sounds like it's not, so we'll have to keep an eye on the forecast. So far, it's been pretty temperate. So we'll see. If anything could change in 5 days. But, all right, man. Appreciate the chat. We'll talk later.
Sure. Appreciate it.
All right. That is Rohan, the unexpectedly positive 49er fan. All right. Man, we got to get through calls. It's almost 9 o'clock here. You guys are, I don't know what time it is where you guys are calling from, but let's get to one who's been waiting a long time. Let's go to the 904 area code. Hey, what's up? Who's this and where are you calling from?
I'm from Jacksonville, and my name is Eli.
Eli from Jacksonville. What's up? What's on your mind?
Florida. This is weird, but my parents are 49ers fans, and I'm a Seattle fan. I don't know what they did, but they raised me wrong or something. It's so hard.
Okay. Yeah, how did that happen?
I don't know, but every single buddy in my family, all my family members like the 49ers, and then there's just me.
So, how did you find your way to see the light?
I don't know. They all just like yelling every time they're playing the 49ers. I was like, dang, I hate this team. So I was like, all right, let's look at 49ers rivals. And I saw the Seahawks and just loved them since.
That's pretty cool. You sound like a pretty young man. How old are you?
I'm 13.
13. All right.
Well, mine is 1 and I'm a 12.
12 plus 1. So you're in middle school then?
Yes, sir.
That's right. Okay. And how long have you been a fan of the Seahawks?
Probably since I was like 7 or 8 when I started watching them.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So, pass interference? Yes.
Do you think we should? Yes,
was that pass
was
interference? Yeah.
Well, that's also, but I did see Jacob Holster hand fighting too, so.
Well, he did go in there and kind of, he did go into the linebacker and initiate some contact, but it was on the release where he got grabbed. That's where it should have been called at that point. Yeah. But anyway, what's your thoughts?
I agree.
What's your thoughts moving forward? Do you think we can win this game in Philadelphia? You optimistic?
Yeah, I'm just a little iffy because Philadelphia is getting kind of hot, and they like being underdogs.
Right.
So, but I just trust in Russ and think we should be okay.
What's the key to beating Philadelphia in your opinion?
Give the ball to Russ, let magic happen, and get some stops on defense.
All right. That sounds like a good formula to me. It sounds like a good formula to me. We definitely got to do better than what we've done in the past, but yeah, I'd like to see them open it up a little bit more, like they did in the second half of the game last night.
Yeah.
And get the.
I think that's why we lost. We just did not do anything in the first half.
They're very predictable, and I think they just need to shake some things up. Change it up from the start. I agree. So, all right. Well, we'll see what happens. So, how long have you been watching my videos?
I discovered you in I think it was 2015. And I saw one of your prediction videos. Like, dang, this guy, he's pretty nice.
That's cool. So about 4 years ago, then.
Yes,
right on. All right. Well, I appreciate you sticking with me all this time. and let's hopefully we'll see some more magic before the season's over. Who knows? All right. Well, thanks, Eli. I appreciate the phone call.
No problem.
Stay strong in that 49er family.
I'm trying.
All right. Sounds good. Take it easy. Go Hawks. Go Hawks. All right. Let's keep this train rolling. Let's go to the 704. What's up? You're on with NorbCam.
Hello?
Who's this?
David from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, David. What's up? What's on your mind today?
Oh, man. Struggling, That loss yesterday was really tough,
I know.
Yeah, I was so mad.
Yep, I think we all wanted that finish to be such a, just Hollywood script type ending for beast mode and winning the division and all that stuff, and it just all came crashing down in the last 30 seconds. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that call from the ref was really bad, that pass interference.
Yep, didn't help us out, that's for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something.
Yep, it's on your mind.
Let's just say you were the GM for the Seahawks, for the offseason, would you, re-sign Jadeveon Clowney?
Whew, that's a tough one. I've been battling with that thought myself because I don't know. He hasn't fully earned it. I mean, if you look on paper what he's done, he's had one great game, and he's done a couple of things in some of the other games, but he hasn't been what I think we had signed him up for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, I think he's still a good player, and he's got some, obviously brings a lot. I would like to. I'd sign him if we could negotiate a deal. I mean, I think I know what he wants to make. I'm sure he was set out to try to make a statement so that he could get paid like the top defensive ends, but I don't think he's earned top defensive end money. So if he was willing to stay in Seattle for less than top dollar, I'd re-sign him, but it's got to be a team-friendly deal because I don't think, one, he's earned it, and two, we can't really afford to pay him top dollar if he's not going to be, a top guy, and he hasn't really proven that. So, but I like him as a player. I think he does bring a lot. He just hasn't brought top tier material. Make sense?
Yeah, I think when he's on the field, you can just feel his presence. I think he makes the offensive line nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just we just need more pass rushers.
Right.
The interior and the outside. I think we've been struggling that for probably 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Ever
since Bennett and Averill left.
Yeah.
We haven't quite had that tandem.
Yeah, what do you think about the secondary?
I love Quandre Diggs. I think he's great. I like Bradley McDougald too. That combination I really like. Shaquille Griffin is he's holding his own okay. Trey Flowers, sometimes I don't know if it's him as a player or the way he's coached up to play, but there's just some things that he does that I'm not a fan of how he plays so loose sometimes, and I just don't know if that's him or if that's the scheme that he's been encouraged to play. That's what I'm still trying to figure out, because I think he's shown signs of being a really great corner, but there have been some times that it's been very frustrating to watch. So I'm not sold on it yet, if that's the case. So I'd still think, and Marquise Blair, our rookie from this year, he hasn't really had many opportunities to do his thing yet. So I'm not sure what's what they're waiting to see from him. But so I still feel like Quandre Diggs, I definitely want to keep him for a while longer because he's just a natural, fantastic safety. But I feel like we got to get more depth at safety and corner as well. I don't feel like we're completely solid in those positions if one of those guys goes down. So but scheme wise, I feel like they got to do better. I feel like our talent's there, but the scheme hasn't fit them as good as they could be. But forget Quandre Diggs. That's a big. We're a totally different team with him in there.
Yeah, I mean, the man just plays physical, you know. Like the last game we played with the 49ers, he was hitting really hard, you know.
Yeah, he got the interception in that first game.
Yeah,
but yeah, he hits.
He kind of remind me of Earl Thomas, kind of.
Yeah, I agree because there was one play in particular against the Vikings where I think it was their tight end who went for a pass on the left side and he was just kind of dancing around and Quandre Diggs came from just like 15, 20 yards away. He just came zooming up and just said, "To heck with this dude," and just laid him out. And I was like, "Damn, that was impressive." Yeah. And so, and the tackling, I haven't really talked much about that, but the tackling has not been good for the Seahawks all season long. Yeah. And I don't know if that's again a product of, fundamentals being practiced or if it's something wrong with our guys. But there have been a lot of missed tackles. In a lot of games, and last night too, where it's like you had them, and tackling's got to be better in the playoffs for sure. So but
like I think, and by the way, Fant did a great job yesterday. Probably in the second half, like George Fant.
Oh yeah. The pass protection in general in the second half was pretty solid. But yeah, George Fant, considering, he definitely did a better job as replacement than Jamarco Jones at left tackle. So if Dwayne Brown can't go, I'm okay with George Fant being in there. He did a pretty good job. So he's got good feet. And we saw him diving for that ball against Carolina. That dude can move and jump, for a big guy. So he was a formal basketball player. So, he's got if he's got hoop skills, he can move his feet. So, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens on Sunday against Philly. It's going to be on. Someone brought up in the chat. Oh, we're going to be on NBC again. It's like all the games when we have this cursed goal line at the 1 yard line thing. All those games are always on NBC. At least twice now they've been on NBC. It's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks.
By the way, congrats for that video you took out. It was awesome, bro.
Oh, you mean the Top Gun one? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that one. That was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to making the part 3 of that. So I'm not done. Just getting started. All right, take it easy, man. Go Hawks. All right, man. You got 2 pages of calls here. All right, let's try to go here to the 651. If I think I know who this is. What's up? This is NorbCam. Who's this?
What's up, Norb? This is Brandon.
That's what I thought. I thought that was you. How's it going, man? Long time no see.
Yes, but man, that was a depressing loss last night, man. That had me up all night thinking about it, man.
I hear you. I hear you. It's like I said. Sometimes it's emotionally, it's better to be blown out than to lose a close one that's literally inches away because you just keep thinking, man, if he just turned his body here, or if we just did do this, or the refs had called this, we would have won that game. It's a harder loss to live with than the ones where you get blown out and you go, let's just forget about that game. But luckily, we're still playing ball. That's the important thing. We still got more playoff games, or at least a playoff game ahead. So that's the one thing that helped me get over this is that we're not done. We got another game to focus on, and we don't have to sit there and fume over it for an entire off season like some teams did.
Yeah, I was impressed though. I was very impressed with Travis Homer last night and how
I was too.
He played pretty well, but I was looking for Turbin. I didn't see Turbin at all in there.
He was in there on special teams.
Homer.
Yeah, Turbin was in there on special teams, but I don't think he ever got any offensive snaps. If he did, it certainly got by me. But, I didn't see it either. Maybe they got other plans for him, I mean, they only had not even a week of practice, so, now they'll have 2. So they might have a few more things that they'll be able to, work into the playbook. So we'll see what...
I thought the play calling on the offense was very conservative in the first half. I think when we go for it on the 4th and inches, I think if we take the field goal, I don't remember how far it would have been.
46 yards.
That changed the whole 46. Okay. I think that changed the whole game because on our final drive, it would be
a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, it'd be right there. But you know,
Yep.
I think we were very lucky to only be down 13-0. The way the defense was giving up big plays to Kittle and Debo had that one where we couldn't tackle. I mean,
like I said, it reminded me of that NFC Championship game against the Packers because if you recall in that game, the Packers were dominating us, but they were conservatively not scoring. You know, they were settling for field goals, not piling it on, and it felt the same way. Like I don't know, Shanahan just never quite put the pedal to the metal all the way down, so they never quite got as far ahead as you felt like they should have been because they were dominating us like 220 something yards to 70. I mean, it was not even close, and yet the score was only 2 scores. So we were fortunate to have still been in the game at that point. But you know, then we came back and you know. We stepped on the gas at the last 2 minutes or two possessions to get, you know, to be down 12 points with 5 minutes to go and to be knocking on the door. I mean, that's a pretty good comeback. And now we got to start a game like that. I just don't know why we can't.
But that penalty really helped us when the 49er lineman went down and took out Delano Hill. That was a great call by the ref. I love that.
Oh yeah. That was huge. That was huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know that had to do with the crowd noise too, because he couldn't hear the whistle or nothing. So you know he thought the play was still going on. But you know that run game though, 49ers last night though, they were running the ball real well. Moser and Burita. Coleman really didn't have that big of an impact, I thought. But you know, I think I like the way the defense played in the second half, and I think you know, Ifedi. He had those 2 false starts, you know, that kind of...
he gave up a sack, too, as well.
Yeah.
Quick shout-out to Unix Format in the Super Chat. I think he had a Super Chat earlier, too, but Unix Format, always a good, big supporter. Thank you. Appreciate that for being here.
I just want to ask you this one more thing before I go. Are you on the side of firing Ken Norton after this year?
I don't know if I want to go as far as firing. I definitely think some changes in the scheme are in order, and that the thing about it is if you fire somebody, everybody assumes that it's going to get better when you get somebody else in there. And
that's true.
You know, you've got to have the better option. The question is, who would be the better option? Is there a better option out there? You know, so Ken Norton has been with the team before. He knows our system. I'd like to believe that you can have the same coordinator in there and maybe they can make some changes and adjustments in the off season or even between games to help improve things. And hopefully they can do that without going to the extreme of necessarily firing him. Because I like him as a player and as a coach. I've seen him on the sidelines, and you know, I think he's a good influence. And was a great linebacker coach with the Seahawks. But just because you know there's some things you don't like about certain things doesn't necessarily really demand a firing of a person. So I guess I'm willing to give him a second chance. This is his first season with it, but you know, if we have 2 seasons in a row where it's the same thing over and over again, then that would probably be the end of my leash as far as I'm concerned. But to add to your point about the 49ers, I gotta say I haven't really complimented them enough. But one thing I do like, and the contrast was very obvious in the first half. It's like when you see Seattle line up, it's like they're all just standing there in their fixed positions. Well, meanwhile, you switch to the 49ers. This guy's going to motion. This guy goes over here, and they flow this way and reverse it this way. And I'm going, okay, this is killing us. Why can't we do that? You know? And Pat brought up a point. He said, well, the thing is, there were a lot of times in that first half we were not playing discipline. Our containment guys were sucking in and chasing the flow instead of staying where they're supposed to keep those outside things. And I think the 49ers were doing a good job of not breaking containment and staying disciplined. So some of those plays would not necessarily work against a team that's staying and doing their doing their jobs. And I think there's definitely a difference in some of the ways that the defense of the 49ers plays and the way the Seattle defense plays right now. And that might come with experience, some of the new guys in there, and but the stark contrast in the way the plays are designed. Shanahan definitely has a very creative, just very confusing, a lot of just things moving around, moving pieces to keep your eyes distracted on. It's like a magician doing all kinds of, okay, now watch the ball as I take my handkerchief and I wave it around my wand and do all this stuff, So if you're not focused on just what you're supposed to do, you get all distracted by these other things. So, but it's working, and we fall for it every time. So hopefully we learn a
one
few
more
things
thing I
on
just
tape.
wanted to add in there too. I think getting by the Eagles, I think we can do it, no doubt. But because the Eagles are really banged up. They lost one of their offensive linemen. Might lose Miles Sanders, their running back. Zach Ertz is out. So they are a little bit banged up. So I think if we can get past the Eagles, assuming the Saints beat the Vikings, I think this Part 3 game, I think we know what the 49ers want to do. We faced them 2 times already. We know what they want to do on offense. And I think the defense can come in with a better game plan, and I think we should be fine, for sure.
Well, I know we got to take care of the first game. Philadelphia will be tougher than it was the first time we played them. But if we can't
they are
get
a lot
past
more
them,
banged up.
They are banged up.
Yeah.
They are banged up. So are we, though. So, we'll see how that all kind of works out. But we
Dwayne,
got the pass rush.
Dwayne,
The pass rush was on when we played Philadelphia, and that's what got Wentz all riled up. So we got to do that again. It's the same thing. When we played 49ers the first time, we had a lot more pressure on Garoppolo and got him all happy feet going on.
Yeah.
We didn't do that this time, and he was way more composed and settled. We can't let the quarterbacks get settled, otherwise it's a bad day for us. So what were you going to say?
Dwayne and Quandre, though, they really help out coming back for sure.
Is Dwayne Brown coming back? I don't know if that's for sure.
Yeah, I heard he's supposed to. I hear he's progressing very well. So, and I know Quandre, he's going this week, so it should help out a lot more for sure.
I hope so. That would be nice to have a couple of those guys return. But losing Kendricks, that's gonna hurt too.
ACL.
That's gonna hurt too.
Yeah,
unfortunately for him. So, all right. Well, thanks for the call, Brandon. All right, you betcha. Have a good week. Go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks.
All right, we're going to try to couple more here before we wrap this up. We're going to try to wrap this up by 9:30. We got 20 minutes left to go here. We got a bunch of lines still filled up. I got to go to the one who's been hanging the longest out here. 58 minutes and counting. Let's go to the 814. What's happening? Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello?
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 Yes, you're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
Hey, my name's Noah.
Noah?
Yep.
All right, and where are you from? Noah.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
all right.
It's an interesting story. My family is all around, football-wise. We're all around, all the teams and stuff like that. We have a Saints fan, a Steelers fan, me as a Seahawks fan, got a Browns fan, stuff like that. It's all over the place in my family.
Interesting. All right. So, Seahawks fan, how was that game for you last night? Bad as it was for all of us?
It was tough. It was a little rough. I remember I was watching the game and I saw that pass interference, and I was so mad, and I just it took me a while to get my head wrapped around the fact that they didn't call that. And then so I went on Twitter and I was looking through Twitter and I was just seeing what the NFL had to say about it, and they said that Jacob Hollister initiated contact, but I mean it's not really initiating contact if it's just hand fighting.
Right. Well, what bothers me is they didn't even stop to look at it. They just kind of
I know.
Skipped
if
that
they
play
stopped to look at it and realized, oh, well, he initiated contact, we're not going to do it, then I mean it's still not okay with me because it's pass interference 100%. But I mean at least they took the time to stop and look at it.
Yeah, that was the thing, is that in such a crucial point in the game, it would have been nice for them to at least make it feel like they wanted to make sure they got it right instead of
it kind of seemed like they were handing the game to the 49ers.
Well, that particular play, but, we did plenty to ourselves
not
too.
The whole
so,
game.
So I wouldn't say that, I'm not going to lay the hand of the game's result at the hands of the refs, but that one play definitely could have changed the outcome. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because it would have been first and goal, and we'd have 2 more plays in us if we really hurried up. But
Yes, it would have been, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I went because after the game, I think it was like a half an hour after the game. So I live in Pennsylvania. It's like 3 hours behind. Or, 3 hours in front of you guys.
Yeah, it's like midnight over
right
there.
Now it's
past
midnight.
Yeah.
And so we're like 3 hours in front of you guys. So I mean, it was like 11:30 by the time the game ended for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like midnight, and I went downstairs and talked to my mom, and I pulled that up on her computer, and I was like, look at this, and she doesn't even know much about football. I just told her what pass interference was, and she's like, oh my goodness, that's uncalled for.
So look, right there, Noah's mom says it's pass interference, so doggone it, NFL, you got to make it pass interference, because Noah's mom said so too. Come on, guys, jeez. Yeah, that was. It was
a rough game, but I mean overall this season, both lines, defensive and offensive line, have been struggling. But honestly, I think last night, going against one of the best defensive lines in the NFL, we held up real well.
Yeah, I think that the one good thing is that it does make you feel like, okay, and to the Seahawks, they can hang, they can hang with one of the best teams. And so I think in the NFC, anything could happen. Anything can happen in these games.
Yeah, I have a friend that's an Eagles fan, so that's going to be interesting when I go to school and realize, like, whichever team wins. I mean, I feel like the Seahawks are going to win just because, I mean, both teams are obviously banged up, but I feel like more of their key positions are banged up than ours.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Shaquille Griffin back last week against the Niners. So last night, and I think he's going to be a lot better for the game because, I mean, he didn't do too great because he just did come back from a hamstring injury, and I mean, Jadeveon Clowney, he's just coming back from an injury too.
Yeah,
so,
he's putting off that surgery for the end of the season. So I can't imagine what that must feel like to be running around with a core hernia injury or whatever it is, but. Yeah, those guys are tough. But all right, well, I guess the game's coming to your state, right? So
yes, I can't make it to the game though.
It's too bad. But again, I hear Philadelphia is a pretty hostile environment, so it'd probably be a tough place to be a Seahawks fan in Philadelphia. But I'd love to visit the city one of these days. I heard it's pretty. The history in that city is pretty awesome, but. Hopefully we get the job done next week. But
and then one thing before I go, it's funny because like I didn't grow up like liking NFL teams. I grew up watching like college football, and I watched Wisconsin, and so that's like where I started my Seahawks origin from, and so it's.
Did you watch Russell Wilson when he was at Wisconsin?
Yeah, I did, and
nice.
And that's kind of how I got put into the Seahawks, is because he was like one of my favorite quarterbacks, mobile. He was really nice as a quarterback. So
yeah, that's cool. You get to watch him before he became famous, but yeah, he was already doing stuff, and look at him now, paving the way for other short quarterbacks in the world. So
exactly,
Kyler Murray and those guys should be thanking him for that. All right, Noah, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Go Hawks. All right, I got time for a couple more here. Let me go to the 360, other side of the state. What's up? Who's this? Where are you calling from? You're on with NorbCam.
Hey, it's Rodney here, and I'm from Kansas City, actually.
Okay. Rodney from Kansas City?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, last night, I was actually disappointed, like every other Hawks fan, but I think this actually really was. After letting it sink in, this really is the best way for us to go. I do believe that we could take care of Philly. I guess it is confirmed that Quandre is going to be back for this game. I mean, we're kind of getting back a little bit more on the healthy train, but they have nothing. I mean, who is he going to throw to? Some guy off the street?
Yeah, I don't know. They were banged up when we played them last time. I don't know. Have they gotten any guys back? Are they any healthier than they were? I haven't really kept a close look on what Philly's been doing. I don't know. All I know is that Philly's won 4 games in a row now, so they're doing something right. Better than when we played them last time.
Well, I mean, if you got it, Zach Ertz made a few good plays, but they have Miles Sanders. But as long as we can stop the run, which if we can just start learning how to tackle a little bit better and quit tackling so high, that would help.
Yeah, too many arm tackles.
What I really want to talk to you about, though, Norb, is there's a couple things. One, you have had a couple people call and talk about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I don't see necessarily firing Ken Norton, but I don't see him being the defensive coordinator next year. I mean, how do you justify being 26th in the NFL in defense?
It's pretty bad.
He's getting shredded every single week.
Yeah.
And I mean, and can I justify myself as a fan signing Jadeveon Clowney, not to some $22 million, but probably between, I would say, 17 to 19? Yeah. Because, I mean, if you think about it, he is hurt. But and let me know what you think on this, too. He is hurt. And if you look at it, we're not sending any blitz. The linebackers we got, Bobby and KJ, they're not blitzing linebackers. They're run stoppers.
Right.
And so when we're only sending in 4, where's the pass rush going to be? Because we're going 4 against 6, and Jadeveon's getting double-teamed just about every play. So, I mean, where are you really going to get that pass rush? Anza, if you watch him, his footwork is just terrible. You could tell the guy's not healthy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what are you going to do? But the defense, I mean, we've got to do some changes. And you made it, you said it earlier. And I just think that he should have already made some changes at this point. I mean, we are this far at the end of the, league, and he hasn't done any changes, and I'm just afraid that if we go down to San Francisco, I'm not saying we can't beat them, but we can't go down 24-0 early because this defense is going to get shredded. We have got to get out of this base defense because Garoppolo knows where to hit the spots in that base defense.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess next season is a whole other thing. How they decide to retool the coaching or the things in the off season and whatever new players they want to bring in, that's a whole other thing for the offseason. But what can we do between now and the next and the playoffs? Because obviously we got who we got. Maybe we get Al Woods back. Who was it in the chat mentioning about Al Woods potentially
that wouldn't
coming
be
back?
till a championship game.
But it wouldn't be till we have to get past the next 2. So, yeah, with that suspension. Elena brought that up. But I don't think he's necessarily the answer. He's not exactly been like the sack king. Nobody's really been the sack king. Jadeveon just went to town on that one game, and that was it. So, from our observations that me and Pat have been having watching our secondary is that it just seems like every receiver just has a free release. And they just seem to be playing too soft on them. So they just, watching the 49ers yesterday, those receivers would just come sprinting out of their position and just run straight across the field untouched. And nobody picks them up, and they're just wide open. And that just happened several times. And so I'd like to see a little more press coverage, a little more, jam them at the line of scrimmage, get them off their route so that Garoppolo can't just throw to a spot thinking they're going to be there because – I'd like to just see him get a little more aggressive up front. And I don't know if that's something you can just change in a week or, work into a system. But I feel like I'd like to see that because nothing else is working.
I think that it's something that we can do because if you've looked at it throughout the season this far, we have went to a nickel. And that's what I think we need to do is go to a nickel and just stop letting guys we cannot keep Bobby Wagner chasing a Kittle. It's just not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looked slow chasing these guys, step behind every time.
And that worries me. But if we can change to a nickel, like we were used to doing in recent past, and even a few times this season, I think that we could give Garoppolo fit. But if we stay the way we are, it makes me nervous. It does.
Yeah, I feel like maybe there's the adjustments. Again, Quandre Diggs, it changes up a lot of things. It's amazing how one guy can make a huge difference in the secondary. But as far as for the pass rush, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we weren't getting home with 4 guys in the first half of the season, and it wasn't until the 49er game, I think, really, before we finally started getting home with the front 4. But we've tried to blitz. I mean, we had a successful corner blitz yesterday with Trey Flowers, but in earlier games, we'd try to blitz the linebackers, and those guys would not get home, And so, yeah, where do we get it from? I mean, we can't just poof have some guys appear. But I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe we do need to get a little creative and blitz some things. But I thought I saw on the 49er games, I thought they did more stunting at the line of scrimmage. I saw a little more kind of like crossing, and it kind of got the O-line a little more mixed up. I just don't. It felt like we haven't done as much of that. It seemed like it's a little more of a straight up just run up the field. And I don't know. Maybe they haven't been as creative on their pass rush stunts, just to get things a little more mixed up for the offensive line.
No, I would agree. I would just like to see us send a little bit more like the corner blitz, like we did yesterday. I thought that was such a brilliant play call.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even see it coming. And if we can do a little bit more of that and just quit, and we don't send our linebackers in, because we're not going to get home with the linebackers. Like I said, those guys are run stoppers. They're not blitzers.
Right.
But if we could bring somebody in the offseason who's in a 3-4 and blitz him, I think that would work good for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we all hoped that was what Shaquem Griffin would do, bring some edge speed. I don't remember if he wasn't really – I can't remember him being in there blitzing on the edge as much yesterday. I don't think we did.
Saw a couple times,
but he didn't have much impact.
I don't think so, for the most part.
So yeah, it's they got to try to do something, because I agree. If we keep seeing the same movie we've been watching, it's just gonna be more of the same. Just 15 yards, 10 yards, just ripping up the D. But yeah, something's got to improve.
Last thing, so you could probably take another call, one more call or whatever. I just want to say, I just wish that yesterday's play calling offensively, I liked it. It was different than what we had been seeing all year long. And, I mean, for most of the year, I just think our play calling's been so vanilla on offense. If you look at these guys, it's just been long routes, and Russell's not getting the protection, because our offensive line is built for the run, not for pass protection. So we got to dial up plays to get the ball out of his hands faster, and I thought it was just perfect.
Yeah, the second half was definitely different.
Where's that been all year?
Yeah, exactly. Let's take the third and fourth quarters of last night's game, and let's plop that plan into the first quarter, and let's see how things go. I've been saying this. I know it'll never happen, but I'd love to see our first offensive possession. Let's run the 2-minute offense and let Russell just go for it and see what happens, and totally throw the Eagles for a loop, because it's amazing how we could be just struggling, doing nothing for 30 minutes or 28 minutes, and then in the last 2 minutes he goes 2-minute offense, move down the field in like 30 seconds. It's like, why not do that in the beginning? I understand you can't go 2-minute the entire game or your defense will get run out, but in the beginning, when nobody's played yet, just first possession, let's just see what happens. I don't know. It goes against conventional thinking. I'd love to see it just to see what happens, because sometimes we're so slow out of the gates. It's agonizing. But
it is. Anyways, man,
we'll see.
Let's just hope for a good win Sunday, and let's go back into San Francisco, and let's have another nail biter for the NFC Championship game. If we get past them, I like our chances.
I pretty much think every game's going to be a nail biter from here on out, because that's just what we do. So, no nails here. All right. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. All right. Go Hawks. I got time for a couple more. I'm just going to hit the ones that have been on there for the longest time. So let's go to the 443. It's been on for a long time. What's up? Who's this, and where are you calling from? Hello? You still there? I know it's been over an hour plus. 443. Anybody home? Yeah, apparently not. All right, let's go to the next one here. Let's go to the 360. What's up? Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Craig from Chehalis.
Craig from Chehalis, what's happening, man? What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, Happy New Year coming up.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think, if we put our finger on what, like how we didn't play in the first half, and when we lost to the Rams also, I noticed, like, you know how KJ hit Kittle, boom, he's hitting those guys in the back. We used to always hit guys like that.
Yeah.
And it's like I watched in the Rams game, or not the Rams game, but the Cardinals game, like KJ, they're standing there in Wagner, and they wait for the guy to catch the ball and start to run, then they go after him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what's up with that. We used to be right on that, and it just seems like they're like falling asleep. I don't know what's going on. It's like they always gotta give us a heart attack in the game. You know what I mean? It's like I knew yesterday was like I thought we might pull it off, but it's like how they're gonna get one, we're gonna get one. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Right. Well, you brought up a couple different points there. I'm not sure about the feeling like the KJ and Bobby are, instead of attacking on the tackles, more of waiting for them. It sounds like what you're saying. It feels like they're waiting and reacting to things. I don't know. I no one's really brought it up out in the open, but I feel like Bobby Wagner, he made the Pro Bowl again, but I felt like this has been kind of an off season for him. I know he just signed a big contract, which is great and everything, but he hasn't been as dominating as he has in the past in my just sort of eyeball test. And I know he's had plenty of tackles. He's still a great linebacker, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like he hasn't been quite the dominating self that he's been. And I don't know if there's any facts to back that up, or if it's just a very loose observation, or if is it possible that he got the contract and got a little easy on it? I don't know, but I just feel like I've been watching a lot of KJ and Bobby chasing guys who just seem like they're a little step faster than them in these, especially against teams like the Rams, and with a lot of speed coming off of the edges. And it might be the scheme. Maybe it's just we're not putting the guys. Yeah. The coach's job is to take the talent you have and put them in positions to succeed. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing your job as a coach. Obviously, the players got to do their job, but you got to put them where they can do the most, effective use of their skill set on whatever plays and whatever team you're facing. And that's on the coach, that's on the coordinators and all that. So I still feel like it's a scheme thing, because I know that we've got great players, and I feel like they just have been put in positions.
I love the players,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect any of them. I'm just saying what I've been noticing, it's how we get behind. It's just like we always got to we got ahead on with the Eagles at one time, and then we just let them, like, all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 times, just march down the field. It's like, why? What's happening? You know what I mean?
We've had a few games like that when we actually did get a lead, we started relinquishing that and letting them look like they're coming back. Atlanta Falcons started to come back after a big lead.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers started to come back after a big lead. And what was the other game you brought up? Philadelphia. Philadelphia also started to kind of creep back in. Why?
And they are getting some of their good players back, I heard, next week. So and it is in Philadelphia, but I mean, we can do it. It's just, why do we have to always play from behind? That's the thing.
Exactly. Well, it goes both ways.
The whole first half.
It goes both ways because each group doesn't play independent of each other, because the offense. If the offense is struggling, the defense is on the field for a much longer time, and of course they're going to get tired and worn down. That happened last night in the first half. The offense couldn't do jack, and then the defense, they had yardaged us like 200 plus to like 70 or something like that, and the defense can only stay holding a team like that for so long if the offense keeps going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. So the offense has got to help the defense and vice versa, so it kind of goes hand in hand. That's why I think that the offense has also got to, get off to a good start and sustain some drives and make it so that they can keep up and not get wiped out and tired, because, it's got to be, that's why we need both sides of the ball. So,
2 more points I want to make before I go.
Yeah.
One is with Lynch. I see a lot of these sites, like on Facebook, Seahawks, all that. Everybody's like just saying, "Oh man, he was horrible. He didn't do nothing." But it's like, this is the first game he's been back in a long time for one. And and somebody posted a post earlier before Christmas. I think it was the day before Christmas. It was Christmas Eve. There was a picture of Lynch and it said how the Lynch saved Christmas. And somebody said it had a picture of Lynch. So he didn't see he could have saved nothing. It's like, you missed the point. Yeah, he did save Christmas, because before that we had all the injuries to Carson and Penny, and everybody was like all around the house. I could see it, just different people in town. It was all like, "What are we going to do? We're screwed. We don't have nobody." Once just the word of Lynch came back, everybody had something positive to say. And it doesn't matter, he already did. He did say, because he brought people around the table smiling, something to talk about. Imagine this, you know what I mean? So that was pretty good. I take him hat off. 33 years old, and to do what he did in that game, come on, not playing all. Come on, guys, that's amazing. So
yeah, no, I love the move. I mean, I've always been a big fan. Anyway, he's just so entertaining, but just he brings this legendary aura with him, and so Sunday night after we lost to the Cardinals, it felt like the season was lost almost. I mean, it was just such a deflating feeling. And it was a brilliant move, whether they did that because they just needed the pick-me-up or because they really thought he could contribute, or both. It was a brilliant stroke, because we went from down the dumps to suddenly feel like we're Super Bowl bound with a guy who really you're not going to count on him to suddenly become your number one running back. And that wasn't going to happen. But his presence just being there felt like it just lifted everybody else up. And look at Travis Homer now. He's suddenly we found a guy. It's like, wow, went off. Where's he been all this time? Obviously hidden in the depths, and just like John Ursua, John Ursua, he's been just hiding in the depths, waiting for his turn, and finally bunch of guys got hurt in front of him, and look what he does. He comes out and balls and gets almost a game-winning touchdown, but got us to where we should have had a game-winning touchdown after that, but didn't quite work out. But I thought this is great. These young guys, these rookies who are finally getting time to shine in big moments. That's going to pay off down the line. Maybe not necessarily in the playoffs. Maybe it will, but next year, I think this experience is going to put Homer in a whole other position to where he might, he's now got showed what he can do, and I've been waiting for Ursua. We saw what he could do in the preseason, but they're waiting for his chance, and he finally got it, and he made the most of it. And I'd like to see him do more, because I think he's got great potential, and this might be finally his chance to break out. So I'm looking forward to seeing these new guys continue to get touches, and to see the old guy beast mode, get his moments, because I think he'll break some. The blocking has not been there. I mean, when he got stuffed, it wasn't like it's because he was old. It was like that 4th and 1. They ran him to the Bosa side where they had our fill-in left tackle and Tyrone Swoops blocking. I mean, it was doomed from the start. I didn't understand the play call. It was I like the choice. I like the choice to run it at 4th and inches. I didn't like the way they executed it or the game planned it. They should have had a different plan of where to send him or blocking scheme, because they definitely didn't put the guys in the best positions to succeed. So, I think we'll see some more stuff.
Quarterback sneak, does he?
He can't quarterback sneak. Russell Wilson can do almost everything, but I think it's the height thing. But I've seen him try it, and it never works. I think they just finally said, no, you cannot sneak. I think you got to have some height to do it. But he's tried, and he just gets buried. Yeah. So they just stopped on that. It just doesn't happen. But I was gonna, if my video clip thing player was working, I was going to show you guys. But on that play where we clocked it, if you watch that play again, on a replay or whatever, if you watch that play right when he clocks it, if Russell actually takes a second to look at what's in front of him, he has the whole right side of the line wide open, because you got one cornerback covering the receiver out there, and all the linebackers are all bunched up in the middle or on their right or our left. There was nobody there covering that right end, and they had two guys overloaded on that side. Russell could have taken that snap and just run around the right side, and he would have scored easily. But of course, the logical thing to do is to do what they did, is clock it, set up the play. But man, looking at it again, it was like, man, he could have picked that ball up and ran right around and did the old fake clock, fake spike and just run. Yeah. It would have worked. But Nobody was thinking
There's
that.
so many times in the moment when you see that too. It's like, why didn't you just run it, Wilson? Why didn't you just run it in the moment? But
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, other than that, I was going to say, it's like, how is it like people like George Kittle, and I'm talking about other teams like, like the Rams have Cup, all these guys, like, the Panthers have Olsen. Those guys, you always know that's their go-to guy when they're in trouble, and those guys always seem to be in the open, nobody around them. How does that happen?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, all right.
But it's like
I love the team.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it was our oh crap, Will Dissly. Will Dissly was that guy in the first 4 games of the season before he got hurt. He was our top receiver. Remember, he got out of the chute. It was like he was getting touchdowns all over the place. He was turned out to be our George Kittle. And then when he went down, it was like, doggone it. Then it was Lockett. He became kind of like the guy, and then he got hurt. And then next thing you know, it's Jacob Hollister. He's kind of become like the go-to guy. Him and DK being like the main guys. But we had unfortunately lost some of those early weapons so early that we had a chance to have our own George Kittle type of guy going in there. And he just, unfortunately, bad luck 2 years in a row with season-ending knee injuries. So hopefully that's not his story, but hopefully he'll come back and can do it again next year. Because if we get him a whole season, shoot, man, I think it'd be a totally different situation. But yep, we gotta have to stop these guys. We gotta stop the Zach Ertzes and the and these deadly tight ends, because they're gonna be there waiting for us. If we make it further on in the playoffs. So.
All right, man.
All right. Thanks for the call, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Good talking to you.
All right.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. All right, guys. We've gone way over time. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the calls I wanted to. That seems to always be the case. But so I'm gonna have to wrap it up. We'll do this again, and love to hear from you guys, and I'll try to get more of the calls in when I can. But thanks for jumping in on this. It was actually it's nice to just have some other people to kind of share some of these frustrating and just looking back at this game, the good, the bad, the ugly, the stuff that just helps to kind of talk it out as we get ready to purge it then and move forward to this next game. I'm very excited. Philadelphia, it's going to be a good game. Hopefully we can correct the mistakes we made last week and start on a little bit better foot. I'd love to just see that happen. I keep asking for it. Maybe this time they'll make it happen. But anyway, if you guys have it in you, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any videos I come out with, because there'll be more fun ones coming out. And just come join me at Emerald Downs, either in person if you're in town or on the live stream. I will be live streaming the game with kickoff at 1:40 Pacific Standard Time. That'd be 3:40 Eastern, 4:40 Eastern, and again on NBC. Our bad luck streak of NBC Sunday night games hasn't been good for us. We need to turn that tide real quick. But anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate it, and we'll talk again later this week. Take care and go Hawks.